Hey Aaron, how's it going? I'm going to do a video response to you. I'm not going to be saying too much. That's pretty much it. DZK here doing a video response to amcn1 in his video titled About Angles, but it kind of talks a little bit more about the idea of outside factors, you know, storylines and whatnot, the stuff that leads to a match, how much that can really affect a match appraisal wise, and how, you know, and whatnot. Oh god, I'm sniffly bad. And since that effeminate douchebag Daniel Talks Pro Rest encouraged people to respond to that video, I will, because Daniel is an effeminate douchebag. Indeed. I just want to sort of reiterate essentially my idea on how any outside factor may play into a match's quality appraisal. I'm probably going to use the word appraisal in evaluating it. You do. Here's how I saw it, and here's basically how Aaron put it. If I may try and put it more concisely without misquoting him too much. I think really angles and whatnot can matter in a match. Character build can matter in a match if there are things in the match that recall those outside factors. I wish I had done some research on some matches that do that, I guess. But there needs to be something in the match that kind of something in the match that's recalling it, not just the fact that it exists. I mean, just that Money in the Bank. I consider the ending to help that match, considering the idea that the finish being Vince McMahon wanting the bell rung, Johnny Ace getting punched out by John Cena. That made sense in the character of John Cena, the role Vince McMahon was playing, and how it eventually put Punk over. Like, that's, you know, that's what made that matter. That's what made that matter to the match itself, because it played into the match while including the characters and storylines and whatnot. What else? Even in Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards, which I think Aaron mentioned, you know, he didn't overly care for it. A lot of people give it 5. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it's pretty great, but not near 5 and not near 3 either. I think there are some good character qualities in it. I know some of the people on the ProWrest.tv board were kind of turned off by some things, but stuff like the Dragon Screw leg whip and the rope, I actually really enjoyed that spot. In the way they, you know, where I believe it's Davey just yelling at Eddie to do it. Eddie's got a hold of it and he's gonna do it, and Davey's just like, and Eddie hesitates and Davey tells him to do it. I thought that did play into the characters well, and that's a part of that match I really enjoyed. When they played into the characters, I wish they had done that more, and that would have made the match better for me personally. That's right. I think Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, of all people, should have had a more storyline and character-based match than a work rate wrestling match. If you get what I mean, I think it would have been even better that way. Because in that way, you know, when they play it up, I get more endeared to the wrestlers themselves and enjoy the match more. But yeah, you know, you wanna, you know, that stuff can affect your enjoyment when you tie it in ring wise. He brought up at the end the Shawn Michaels Triple H example. You know, what kind of doubts can be answered or unanswered concerning the build up and the character build. What kind of stuff plays into the story. I mean, even when it comes down to like you know, how a guy escapes a hold or kicks out of a move, what about them or what about the storyline making something happen, and that's when it matters, really. I mean, God, if we were judging a match where the angle, whether it's incorporated to the in-ring or not, mattered in the rating, then I'm sure a lot of people would have had, Undertaker Kane matches from last year in the 3 to 4 star range, when we all know that they are old and broken down and weren't quite that good. We all know that. But the storyline stuff was actually I thought it was really fun. Even though we knew it was going to lead to crappy matches. Not crappy, pretty crappy matches sometimes. God, this is a giant water bottle. But, I mean, there's so many, cool, and like he said, Hogan, Andre, a couple others, where it's just it's such a big, there's a big scale involved, a big story around, a deep story around, and if you don't recall that in, the match, the story doesn't matter star rating wise. You can still really enjoy the story, but the match itself, I've seen Chikara do that. They do it so minutely here and there that it's kind of, hell, they do things in matches that lead to storylines. Little things. Something I like about Chikara. Oops, someone's jangling their keys. Yeah, stuff like that. Another point that's been brought up on the board really recently that I want to put up here, since we're talking about appraisal. Kind of, we all know that Daniel hates ROH in most of the American Indies. I think we can all agree with that. Am I joking with you, Daniel? You'll never know. You'll never know. And talking about one of his big pet peeves is hearing some people, let's say with a Davey Richards match or what have you, do a review along the lines of standard great Davey match, 4 stars, really liked it, and then move on to the next match. I agree with that, but I understand that to get within a certain range, you have to your initial just enjoyment of a match gets it in any given range, and then when you actually go through the details, then you should be tweaking from there, and you should be paying as much attention to the details as possible when you want to give a match 4 stars or above. You really should have either really big reasons or a lot of good reasons as to why you're ranking it so high, and hopefully explain that, because when you kind of gloss over it, it's kind of it does look kind of blah. And no, this isn't me turning on ROH fans or what have you, just because Chikara is my favorite promotion and I'm getting more into pro wrest style a bit. And by pro wrest, I mean Big Japan, because Big Japan's awesome, and you're not. I mean, seriously, it's Big Japan. There's big muscle guys hitting each other and people bleeding. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I think people do, it gets to a certain area just by people naturally enjoying it, just sort of watching it. And then with, so Daniel, people can enjoy it, just from watching it right off the bat and say, that was good, that was really good, that was great. And then from there kind of go with the details. And plus some people just don't look into, so many details. Some people just don't do that. I can't look, I like to think I'm pretty decent analytical, but I'm not nearly on the level of guys like amcn1 and Daniel Talks Pro Wrestling, who can, good God, they can pick out any detail God. It's, yeah. And good for them, but, not everyone picks out every single detail in the world, and there's that. And some people naturally, just upon watching, feel like that was a great match. But although it's true that from there you do need details on how it gets to a specific level within, it gets to here. Let's say this is great. How high are we going up? Are we up here at the 4 3/4 range? Why? Is it only down here at, say, 3 3/4? Why? Stuff like that. That's that'll really help. I think that would be a good exercise to use here on YouTube, is a bit more details oriented, and then people can actually debate that and refute that, and actually get a discussion going on here, which everyone complains no one gets a discussion going on here. If we use that much more detail in something as simple as a match review, that's all the more discussion for YouTube to have. And the last point is that when people have certain styles of appraisal, you can look at a guy like True Slayer is going to have a different style of appraisal from Dano Talks ProRes, and there's been cases where it's almost sort of like an agree to disagree type thing. And sometimes it's not always agree to disagree. At a certain point, you don't want to start bitching at each other about it, but debate it, talk about it, and don't sweep it under the rug. I'm trying not to sound like an asshole here, but people on the board have been making good points about that point, and I'm just bringing that up here in a video for more people to actually see. So I can both respond to Aaron and talk about other stuff that I think is actually really good for all of YouTube to see, not just anyone involved in ProRes.tv forums, which everyone should go see, where we talk about more than just ProRes. We're actually doing a lot of WWE and ROH talk at the moment, like at this very moment that I'm recording this video on my 20th birthday, October 3rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I'm 20. That's weird. I'm old. It's a whole nother decade. That needs to stop. Okay, I've started to ramble, but I think I got some points in there. amcn1, please accept this video response. Daniel, you're an effeminate douchebag. And I say that lovingly and full of hate. So yeah. DoubleCrossKing, stay classy.